kiddos, we're back today and we're going to start a Valentine's video. So this will be the first in a series of probably 4 or 5 that I do for the next month. So one a week will be a Valentine's video. I hope you enjoy it. Let's get right to the first project.
All right, the first thing we're going to need is 2 of these red hearts from Dollar Tree. You're going to take all the sparkle off of them. And I saved mine for 4th of July, so you might want to save that red stuff, and then again you might want to throw it away. So you're going to need some really sharp scissors when you get done, a piece of burlap, 2 pieces of burlap big enough to cover each heart, some lace, some flowers. Burlap flowers is what I used, but you could use whatever. You can see here why we need the sharp scissors. Going to cut all those little nubbins off on both hearts. And then we're going to take, and I got these little clips at Dollar Tree. They are awesome. And I went around and just clipped the burlap to the edges. So when I went around with the hot glue gun, I had something actually making sure that I didn't cut my burlap too short because I was running low on burlap. So I wanted to make sure I had enough to go all the way around, and I didn't want to pull too hard on one side and not have enough on the other side. I don't know if you've ever done that, but I've done that a lot. So I'm just going through here, hot gluing it and then clipping it, hot gluing it and clipping it. And I'm trying to only get the hot glue on the very back side of it because burlap and hot glue, as you know, it'll go right through the other side. So I'm just trying to put just a little bit, and that's the reason for the clips, is to make sure that it really gets down into the burlap on the back side. Now I go all the way around, and then I'm going back and cutting off the excess burlap. Now when you flip this over, you need to do this to both hearts too, by the way. When you flip it over, see how you can still see the gridded part on it? I was like, oh no, what am I going to do? And then I thought, well, it's going to be covered up mostly. So once I get it glued all together and I start decorating it, you can't see it at all. Now, this is a second sign that I got from Dollar Tree, and I just wanted the love part off of it. I'll use that sign another time, but this love, it was super cute. And so I couldn't find any of the metal letters like they normally have, so I just stole this off this other sign. Now I'm just showing you some of the trims that I pulled out that I possibly might use. When I'm crafting, I don't really know where I'm going with it until I get done. So I found this, and you've seen me use this burlap ribbon before. Of course, it's a Christmas ribbon that I got last year at Hobby Lobby, and I use it for everything. So I have about 3 rolls of it, and it's got, I think, 10 or 20 yards of ribbon on it. So, those rolls are quite big. So I'm, just cutting off the pieces here, an estimate. And look, I changed my mind as I'm going through. So I had it one way and changed the other. Then I'm just going to hot glue it on the back, not the front, to take care and not get the glue on the front where you can see it. And then, I'm doing that to both pieces. The beige lace that's on this next part, I did pick the small laces from Dollar Tree, but the big lace came from Hobby Lobby in the scrapbooking section. And I know you think, scrapbooking section? Well, if you go over there, you're going to find a ton of stuff in that scrapbooking section that could be used for other things. And so ribbon is one of them. And then you can buy a smaller amount of it to use just on a project like this. So this whole card for both pieces was $3.99, and I think it's the Paper Studio. So they always run Paper Studio products at 50% off. And so I got it for $2, both pieces. So, and I didn't even use all of it. So you can see I use one type of lace on one heart and then another type of lace on the other heart. I shouldn't say that they always run it at 50% off. About every 4 weeks they run it at 50% off. So you should check back then if you don't find it for 50% off, or you could always just use your coupon for 40% off. So I'm going to go ahead and finish hot gluing this on, and I put the small ribbon at the top of that burlap ribbon, and I put the big one at the bottom, and I'll leave a space just to cover it up. And then I'm going to hot glue the big burlap flower that I got. I have seen other burlap flowers in the wedding section at Hobby Lobby, and once or twice I have been able to pick up something similar at Dollar Tree. I didn't this time. I couldn't find anything. And so where that flower is great big, you would just glue on about, a whole stem from Hobby Lobby. Or not from Hobby Lobby, from Dollar Tree. So now I'm just getting the right placement and making sure, how that heart is going to fit on the other heart. And when I decide my position, then I put the hot glue on the front one. And, of course, then I wiggled it and had to wiggle it back so that it wouldn't show the hot glue. Now I'm going to glue on the flower, and then I'm going to glue on the love sign. And I try to get it on both sides, both hearts. So I've got it on one and I got it on the other. And just to even it out. If I had just put it on one, I think it would have unbalanced it. So, I have to, it's kind of like a flower arrangement. You're trying to get good balance in there. Now, what I'm doing now is I'm going to make a ribbon or a bow out of this seam tape. This seam tape, I think you get 100 yards for $10. And I think I bought this on Amazon years ago, so like 2 or 3 years ago, but I'm pretty sure you can still buy it on there. And so I love this stuff, and I will use it a lot in my crafts projects, you'll see. But the thing I like about it is you can dye it, you can tea stain it, so you get your tea, you boil it real hot and you soak it in the tea, and then when you take it out, you scrunch it up and then take your hairdryer and dry it, and it comes out all crinkly. It's really old-fashioned looking, and it leaves spots in it, and so it looks like it's been, kind of dirty washed in the rain, I guess is what I call it, but I don't know. Anyway, it's but I just love using it. So I just use, several yards of it to make a big old bow to stick up under that flower. And then I'm trying to decide if I want to put one of those wooden hearts on top of it, but you couldn't see it. So I hot glue the bow on, and then I go ahead and go, I want those wooden hearts in there. So those came from Dollar Tree, of course, in the Valentine's section. And I get a couple of those, and I'm going to hot glue them in that flower. And I just thought that kind of topped it all off. I just love this project. It turned out adorable. And I'm going to keep it here at the house and hang it up in the living room on my window display that I have in there. I hope you guys like this one. Well, here's our love bug banner, and it turned out so stinking cute. Of course, I'm in love with it, but the black and red will go so perfect on my coffee bar. Now, the first thing you're going to need is this infinity scarf or some kind of fabric. These red hearts, black pom-poms, those black wooden hearts. I've sped this video up too fast. And then you're going to need some white stickers that say love bug, some pipe cleaners. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my stickers and I'm going to put each one of the letters on the 7 black hearts that I have. Those wooden hearts, all that came from Dollar Tree except for the yarn and the pipe cleaners. So those I had. Now I'm just going through there and sticking them all in the center, and I'm making sure to leave the hole free because I'm going to need it here in a minute to put the antennas on. Alright, so I'm going to cut 3 pieces of that yarn, and it's going to be around 5.5 to 6 feet. And I'm going to tie knots in it about every foot. And just a plain old knot, and that was to keep it from getting tangled up. Because you get that long of yarn and you start messing with it, you'll tangle it up. So here I'm cutting the pipe cleaners about 4 inches long. And then I'm going to twist each pipe cleaner twice around that black heart and then bend the antennas forward so it looks like a ladybug, And then here in a minute, I'm going to glue the pom-poms, the little black pom-poms, to the red antennas. Now, when I do that, I put a dot on the middle of the pom-pom, and then I take my little pink finger savers, that's all I know what to call them, and I squish that pom-pom around that pipe cleaner or chinchilla stick, I think that's what you guys call them. Anyway, whatever that fuzzy stick is, you glue it around there to that antenna, and that makes it so you can't see the glue from the other side. And you think, well, that ain't big enough, but it is. Once you get to doing it, you'll see it's big enough. So you need 2 for each one of those. So you're going to need 14 of them black pom-poms. Now I'm going to take these black hearts, wooden hearts, and I'm going to glue them to these red felt hearts. Now make sure when you're gluing them that you leave the hole at the top of the middle of the heart, where the V is, that you leave that open, because you're going to need that to tie to your white yarn here in a minute. So I just cut that infinity scarf. I cut those pieces around 3 inches, and when you cut it apart, the serged edge is on each end, and then I just cut 3 inches strips, and I cut me 7. I think I cut 9 of them. So I still had plenty of scarf left over if I wanted to cover something in it later, and I saved it so that I'd have something else to do. Now this is just my odds and ends jar of red ribbon. I save anything. As you can see, I'm not a hoarder, I don't think, but lots of people think I am, but I'm very thrifty, so if it's more than 6 inches, I save it on ribbon. And so this jar has my reds and purples in it, and so I went through there and just plucked out some odds and end ribbon. There ain't no rhyme and reason to it, and it's just red, white, and pink, and you could do the same thing. So just any kind of ribbon you have. Embroidery floss would work. I used a little bit of netting that you get from the Dollar Tree in there. You could use deco mesh. You could use just whatever. You could put more of that yarn in there and make little pom-poms all the way through. So it's just up to you what yours looks like. I thought I was going to add that black checked ribbon to it, but after I got the ribbon out, I didn't need to. So I kind of saved myself a little time with that and not having to cut it. Now I'm making a pom-pom here, which I've been doing, and I just wrapped it around there about 6-7 times, cut it at one end and tied a knot at the top. That's all there is to a pom-pom. I made one for this end and one for the other end, and then I tied a piece of that spare ribbon that I had around the top of it to kind of brighten it up a little bit. After you get done wrapping it at the end, that is all it takes. And then I'm going to hang this on my coffee bar. And when I get it all decorated, I'll do a little video of what my house looks like all decorated for Valentine's Day. I can't wait.
Today's video is part of a challenge over on Heidi Sonboul's DIY channel here on YouTube. And the link will be listed below, and there's also a playlist that where everybody that contributes will be listed there, so you can see tons and tons of Valentine projects, not just only mine, if you want to hop on over there and visit some of those great creators that are over there. I hope you enjoy it.
Alright, this next project is made with a deck of cards. It's 52 Reasons Why You Love Your Significant Other. Now, I did handwrite it this time because my husband requested it. He wanted my handwriting. So, first thing I need is 2 packages of these different kinds of stickers that they have at the Dollar Tree, those wooden hearts, a deck of cards, some ribbon, 2 keychain clips that actually they clip apart, so you'll see here in a minute what I'm talking about. I really don't know what they're called. I used some gemstones that you can see. Those gemstones I got at Walmart, but you can use the ones from Dollar Tree because they're not as big and it probably would work better. What I'm doing now here is I'm going through and sorting the cards, and because this says casino on the backs of the cards, I didn't like that, so I'm going to glue two a front to a back on each of the cards so that that doesn't show. And I did that because I didn't really like that look on the back of the card when I started decorating. Now you're going to need about 4 different pieces of paper. I come back with some black. I know right there I don't have black. And then I used those chalk crayons from the Dollar Tree. I used white, gold, and silver. I mainly didn't like the gold on there. It really didn't look good. So I just used silver and white and kind of went back and forth. What you see me doing here is tearing paper. So I took the paper, and when you tear paper, this paper is from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby, but you can use construction paper because it gives that deckled edge when you tear it. And then when you take those crayons that are, they're supposed to be chalk markers, but they're like a crayon wax. And when you take that, and even a white crayon or a black crayon, regular, will work on this. Take it on the edge and just where the deckled part is, where you've ripped it, when it has that rough edge, if you scrape it across there, it's going to leave a mark, and that's how I'm getting that look on there. Now with these, you can even smudge it with your finger, and it gives it a little bit duller appearance. So I'm going through here, and I have punched holes. I'm sure I skipped over that part because I was talking, but I punched 2 holes in it so that later on I'll be able to put the rings through there. I think they're binder rings is what they're called, and they just clip apart, and then you slide them through. I'll show them to you here in a little bit when we get to that part. Now here I am using this liquid glue, but when I got further along, I was running out of glue, so I was like, well, I'm gonna try a glue stick. And guess what? Glue stick worked perfect. Now if you didn't have a glue stick, white glue is not really going to work, because I did try white glue and it just peeled apart because it didn't like that plastic on the cards. So you're going to have to use either the glue stick work, and I would say Mod Podge would work, either way. So I'm just decorating each piece. I'm writing the number in the little piece of paper that I decorated to put on there, and then I'm putting some kind of little sticker. Now you're going to repeat yourself over and over again because there is 52 of these. So when you start writing your reasons out, of course your reasons shouldn't be the same, but the pages can be, and it's not going to matter to the person that's receiving this. You can even do this for your kids. It's a great I love you, especially for your children. They need to hear that, and your spouses or significant others. They need to hear how much you love them and why. And it's simple things like, you hold the door open for me every time I get in the car. You make me breakfast on Sundays. You always pick your socks up out of the floor. I couldn't put that on my husband's, but y'all might have one of those husbands that's like that. He does other stuff, so, he's good about a whole lot of other things, so I guess I'll forgive the socks on the floor. But now here I'm just going to decorate the front and the back, and the back I just left completely black, but I'm going to write a little note to him on it about happy this is our 31st Valentine's Day together, and blah, 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 I love you. Anyway, but then the front of it, I do decorate, and I put handwriting on there, 52 reasons why I love you. And he wanted me to, I have made him another one that I didn't do my handwriting on there, and he said, no, I want your handwriting on there. Of course, we've been together quite a few years, so he's seen that ugly handwriting, so, oh well, he wanted it, he got it. So now I'm just decorating this, and you could do this all the way through the book, where I didn't because it was getting so full, but I do like it really full, so I might go back and add some of these wooden hearts inside of the pages, and more of these little twine bows that I'm making here in a minute. You'll see I make some twine bows, little bitty ones. And then I just used, a ton of those felt stickers. They just turned out so cute. So here's the little rings, and you can see how they pull apart. And I think they're binder clip. They're not binder clips, they're binder key rings or something. Anyway, they kind of snap apart, and then you can just put one through each hole, and it takes a little bit to kind of hold it and do it. So, and make sure you're not skipping a page, which is what I usually do, and you have to go back and undo it and fix it back. But I actually got it right this time, so it was a miracle. Once I get that in there, I'm going to, that's my little bow I'm making. Once I get it in there, then I'm going to cut a bunch of little pieces of ribbon. Doesn't matter, rhyme or reason. Could have been tulle. You could have stringed some beads on the end of it, or some charms, or whatever, you know, fancy smanchy pants stuff you want to put on there, you know, and tie it to those little rings. And they just turn out so cute. And I just think that it's the most precious gift that you could give somebody, is all the reasons you love them. So I'm going to finish up tying the ribbon on the little rings, and then I'm going to flip through and show you the book. It just turned out so sweet, and I know your loved one is going to love it.
I hope you all enjoyed all the projects today. I hope to see you back here next week with my next video. And if you are new here, again, subscribe so you can hit the little bell so that you can get a reminder of when all my videos are going to come out. I enjoy doing this, and I hope you enjoy watching.